This is Andy Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Eddie Hearn here in London. Eddie, it probably won't mean much to you, but you have just done the media rounds and a half there. How are you feeling after all of that?
And this is the second presser of the day, and I've got to fly to New York now for the one tomorrow. I don't know. I just hope that one day people will go, he gave us our time. He gave him, it's my job at the end of the day. The problem is with all the outlets, and everyone's got their own outlet, dream, is that there's a massive crossover audience. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes you do the bigger outlets, and effectively that will do the job for you. But these people giving up their time, they've got their own platforms, their own outlets. Because when you started, you needed the interview, not rating myself. But if you get me, then you got a chance to do some numbers. And listen, if I can give 5 or 10 minutes of my time, who wants to go home at 8:45 on a Wednesday night anyway?
You've certainly given more than just 5 or 10 minutes of your time to hear Eddie, so let's just get straight into it. Fisher Allen, quite cordial as always, but one thing I'm interested in is the first fight. We know that the first 3-4 rounds, when Johnny just boxed, he's picking up those rounds quite easily, but he said on stage there, it feels like he won't be able to help himself, but to get involved, have those back and forths. Concerned if he allows that to happen?
Andy, concerned but excited. Right, at the end of the day, we want to see a tear up, right? You want to see a tear up. We all want to see a tear up. And you're going to see a tear up. Now, is he good enough to win by doing it that way? We'll find out. But the reality is, I think Johnny's going to win the first 3 or 4 rounds. He did last time. But then it's going to come on top, and it's going to be violent, and it's going to be blood and guts. And this time, you've got an atmosphere. Last time, don't forget, it wasn't that there was no atmosphere on Fury against Usyk. It was just on at 6 p.m. It was the first fight of the night. Now you've got a 8,000 sellout. It's going to be wild. So, yeah, it's what we want. We saw with Ben Eubank, just go in now and just entertain, put it on the line. And that's what these two will do.
Dave Allen speaking about, and a lot of people spoke about, an improved version of him can do more damage, but what does an improved version of Johnny Fisher do?
Well, that was the only thing lacking, really, was the experience and the championship rounds to go and prove yourself. And I expect Johnny to be better this time. More knowledgeable, more disciplined, but maybe more spiteful as well. And I think the atmosphere will help him. And we saw against Babic. I know that Dave's tougher than Babic in terms of his durability, but it was crash bang wallop. Johnny's very heavy-handed. Dave's just difficult to break down at times.
Wardley, Huni, obviously straight from Ipswich to here. Just talk to me about why you guys felt like taking this fight on shorter notice was the right move, and why justice can upset those odds against Fabio Wardley in Ipswich.
Because I just feel like if you think you can win a fight and you've got enough time to be physically ready, you should be taking the risk and the opportunity. And, it's a dangerous fight for Huni, but it's a very dangerous fight for Fabio. Like I said earlier, the similarities between AJ and Ruiz, I know it was for the World Championship, but it was also Jarrell Miller that pulled out. And when you've got a big crowd, you've got to have a credible replacement, and there's not a lot of options. And for us, really, one of the few credible options was Andy Ruiz. It was a completely different style to Jarrell Miller. AJ was mentally and physically probably not 100%, but we'd sold out MSG, we'll beat Ruiz, it's not a problem. And this is what that looks like as well. It's like, look at the rankings, there's Justice Huni. That's a difficult style. He's got good feet. He moves well. He's fast. Yeah, we'll beat Justice Huni, and it just feels very similar. And I think we're going to win. But I think it'll be a great fight, and respect to both.
We know obviously previously there had been talks about potentially making Itama and Huni. That one never materialised. But one thing I was interested in, you said that you had held talks with the team about potentially making Parker versus Huni. What can you tell me about those talks and why you never went further?
Because it was recent. Because Parker was, he's waiting. So we said, maybe we do a Parker-Huni fight. That's always been a fight that we know will be a big fight for Australia and New Zealand and that part of the world. So that's something we looked at. We'd agreed to fight Moses Atoma as well. But obviously this came up and we grabbed it with both hands.
Well, Joe's waiting in the wings, and let's say if Justice does upset the odds, beats Fabio, do you think taking that fight between Joe and Justice back towards that side of the world could happen?
This is one of the reasons we're taking the fight. It's the fight that makes him a big star. And I believe he wins on June 7th.
Smith versus Yarde, Eddie, obviously reports of those two fighting on a 5 versus 5. Tunde Ajayi saying that deal was basically sealed earlier this year, back in February. What can you tell me?
No, not yet. There's been no detailed negotiations or conversations about Smith-Yarde, only that it's a fight that we're up for making. There's no kind of final position on the 5v5. There's other fights being talked about as well. I'll let His Excellency announce that. But Yarde, Smith, talks, nothing concrete. Great fight. But we're also talking to Louis de Cubas about Smith Benavides, and also talking to Callum Smith about a potential fight just in Liverpool. So Callum's in a great spot, but we will strike in the next couple of weeks.
Taylor Catterall 3, depending on how Josh Taylor does against Echo Esserman next week. Is that a fight which is still in the background, or is it Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank?
Both fights I'm very interested in. I mean, obviously Taylor fights next week. I love the Harlem Eubank fight because obviously the Eubank's name is very hot at the moment, and Harlem's doing well. He's had some big audiences on Channel 5. Jack's coming back, needs a good fight. That's a great domestic fight, so we'll have to see.
What are those talks looking like at the minute for the Eubank fight?
Harlem Eubank, good. I think they want the fight. We want the fight. We'll see if we can get it made.
What do you make of Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios?
I think it's about 2 years ago we talked about Ben Pacquiao, and I got absolute pelters. Like, he's 46 years old, he hasn't boxed for 5 years. You've seen in the exhibitions, he's just not anywhere near the same fight. How you can put him in at number 5, I don't understand. I mean, at least make it subtle and put him in at number 13. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. It's a business, and obviously, I get it.
Has Conor voiced his frustrations about, because obviously he's placed at number 3, I think.
No, the rankings mean nothing.
Shakur Stevenson's called him out as well. What do you make of Shakur calling out Conor?
I spoke to Shakur. It's funny, they were both texting me today about the fight at the same time. Conor fired me a text saying, "Have you seen this?" Shakur messaged me and said, "I'll fight him." He talked about 147. I've seen some 54 stuff. Listen, at the moment, Shakur's got Zepeda, Conor's got Eubank. After, we'll make it happen. Everyone wants to fight Conor Benn. Shakur's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Let's make the great fights happen.
Eubank Ben 2 still likely to take place next?
Yeah, that's what we expect. We've already been told September 27th is a likely date from His Excellency. He said it live on air. And we expect that to happen in September.
Canelo-Crawford, do you have any idea where that's going to land now, obviously changing up the venues?
And that's over to them. Great fight. Look forward to it.
Eddie, thank you as always.
Cheers, mate.